Another week, another win for Texas A&M. The number 3 team in the nation went on the road to Death Valley and walked away with an impressive win over number 20 LSU. The Aggies are 8-0 for the first time since 1992, and they remain the lone unbeaten in the SEC. Time now to welcome in CBS Sports college football insider Richard Johnson and former Louisiana running back Emory Hunt as we unpack our winners and losers from college football this Saturday. Let's start with the Aggies. They trailed LSU at halftime, y'all, but it was all Aggies in the second half. So, Richard, I'll start with you. What did we learn about Texas A&M in this game?
Well, we learned that A&M's defense is still fierce. We learned that A&M gets better over the course of the game when they find out what they're doing well and what you're doing not so well. We found out that it doesn't really matter what LSU can try to do, whether LSU can get a safety but with a fake punt, whether LSU can keep the game close through the first half. It doesn't matter because at the end, cream rises to the top, and A&M in all 3 phases ended up dominating this game in the end.
They're explosive at every level. You talk about explosive at quarterback with Marcel Reed. They're explosive in the backfield with the slew of backs they have out there. I'm a big fan of Ashton Daniels and what he does running the football. Amari Daniels and what he does running the football. They're explosive, as you saw right there, at punt returner, last wide receiver with KC Concepcion. They're explosive on defense and how they attack you and how they get after the quarterback. They're explosive everywhere. And when you have a young quarterback like Marcel Reed that's growing and becoming an asset, a significant asset on offense, it helps you think about this team long-term, win a national championship.
Yeah, Mike Elko really has his team playing at an all-time level. Now, we also had Texas stunned Mississippi State because they were down 38-21 at one point in the fourth quarter. They win 45-38. And in one hand, you can say, well, yeah, they should have beaten Mississippi State because Mississippi State has no SEC wins. But on the other hand, it's like, yo, coming back from 17 points down, that's pretty impressive, no? Emory?
Yeah, it's very impressive. And that touchdown catch you saw right there was the game winner. That was Matthew Caldwell, the backup quarterback, throwing the game-winning touchdown pass to Emmanuel Mosley in overtime. And this entire game showed me that this team really loves their head coach. They love each other. They want to win, and they want to win for each other and their head coach. Because you saw Arch Manning play his best game, I thought, of his career because they were down. He fought them back, had, 29 of 30, 46 for 346, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown, and he got hurt trying to get positive yards, trying to gain yards and keep his team afloat. And then you got the backup coming in, throwing a dart to the outside. Receiver did what he could to keep his feet in bounds. So great team effort. The punt return by Niblett, all of that mattered. They needed every last point to win this ball game. So this was a great team win. This was big for Texas, not just for them in the top 25, but mentally, psychologically, and for their head coach as well.
Speaking about the head coach, right? Before the game, a report came out that he was interested in returning to the NFL, including the Titans job. And Steve Sarkisian, he was quite defiant during his post-game conference about those rumors.
I'd love to touch on this, so bear with me for a second, because it really pisses me off that one person can make a report that in turn the entire media sports world runs with as factual, to the point of my agency and my agents have to put a statement out that they never have done. Historically, CAA, Jimmy Sexton, and Ed Manowitz have never do that. But I had to do that to protect my locker room and my team. And I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I thought it was completely unprofessional of that person to put that report out. And the fact that everybody ran with it is borderline embarrassing for the media. And I respect what you guys do. I really do, and everybody else. But the fact that everybody ran that as truth is really embarrassing. Okay, so I've got a small circle when I make decisions on what I do and what I don't do, and nobody would speak on my behalf without me knowing. And so where that report came from, I'd love to talk to that person because it's absolutely ridiculous.
Richard, man had a whole lot to say here.
You heard Sarkisian say, I would love to touch on this. How often do you get I would love to touch on this? Look, you could tell that this was a distraction all day. I was told that during a staff meeting earlier in the day, the TV was on College Game Day and the Sark to Tennessee Titans link was discussed, and the TV was swiftly muted to stunned silence in the room. So this was a thing that was bubbling around this program all day. You see the statement come out from Jimmy Sexton and Ed Manowitz at CAA, who are Sark's agents, and it says it called the reports patently inaccurate, wildly inaccurate. I mean, they were demonstrative in their denial. You can tell that Sark was very, very upset about that this got out, that this leaked, and that this was a storyline around his program, a day where they go on the road to a fierce Mississippi State team that they were going to have some trouble with no matter what. The Mississippi State team is a good team despite the fact that they are winless in the SEC. They knew that they were going to have to be on their P's and Q's, and you could tell that he did not want this distraction in his program at all, and that's kind of my read on the situation. Sark probably got on the phone to his folks and said, we got to put something out here. We got to kill this right now.
Handle it.
You do not usually see a statement from an agency with the agents named on it attributed like that.
Yeah, very telling stuff with the rebuttal, right, the denial, and then obviously Sark very passionate post game. Now we have to get to our losers. Sark is not a loser, right? His team wins. He get to put the statement out. Emory, who do you have as your loser in this week?
Iowa State. I was big on Iowa State in the beginning of the season when they were 5-0, riding high, winning great games. They were up 24-10 with 1:52 left in the second quarter before giving up a late touchdown and subsequently scoring three points in the second half. Great chance to get back into the Big 12 race. Lost that. 3 straight losses after starting 5-0. They were my biggest losers today.
Richard, how about for you? Who screams loser?
My biggest loser also from the Big 12. Talk about Arizona State. Look, no Jordan Tyson in this game for them. It's their best player by a wide margin. It's the thing that makes their offense go. He was not able to go in this game, and you saw what happened. They were really unable to generate offense really until the end. They lose 24-16, and their chances at getting into the Big 12 championship race, it's going to be tough for them because of the logjam of teams in the standings ahead of them.
Maybe Kenny Dillingham had something going on, right? Preseason when he was like, yeah, this is not a championship caliber team.
Try to tell you.
Try to tell you. Right. You thought it was like motivation, but maybe not. Maybe that's just who they are. Okay, now let's end on a good note. Who's another winner in your mind that deserves some love, Emory?
How about we go to the HBCU ranks, the MEAC, Delaware State. And the reason why I like Delaware State, #1 rushing offense in the FCS. Not passing offense by former NFL wide receiver and future Hall of Famer Deshaun Jackson. #1 rushing offense, and this coaching staff has been phenomenal. Offensive coordinator Naima Washington, offensive line coach Eugene Chung, former first-round pick, running backs coach Clinton Portis. They are running the football. They beat North Carolina Central for the first time since 1977. It was their homecoming. They went on their road, which you said, walk in your trap, take your trap, whatever it's called.
Right.
Did exactly that. Today, 241 yards on the ground, 51 attempts, 4.7 yards a carry, 2 good backs. The first back is the NFL prospect Marquise Gillis. The second one, James Jones, 6'1", 220, explosive speed. He also can tote the rock. They are winning the MEAC, in my opinion.
Gainesville, Florida's own Clinton Portis, by the way, I got to put on for my city, the 352.
All day, man, all day. Never miss an opportunity to do that, man. But it's a wild day, right, in the SEC, Richard. So who's a big winner also from that conference?
Big winner for me is Vanderbilt. Look, gritty, not pretty today over Missouri. Missouri down to QB3 after Bo Pribula gets hurt. You understand that it's a tough spot for Missouri. But the Tigers hung around a little bit, but it doesn't matter because Vanderbilt was able to overcome. Vanderbilt was able to get it done. And look, there were a lot of hype coming into this game for the Doors, right? You got College Game Day in town. It's a big primetime spot. It could be potentially a letdown spot when you see the other team's quarterback go down. You think, oh, we got this. We're going to run away with it. No, they had to fight and scratch this out to the end. There was a Hail Mary that was very close to connecting at the end there. Vanderbilt, all the way until 000s hit the clock, Vanderbilt was able to get the job done today.
Vanderbilt showing why they were not just a one-year wonder last year, beating Alabama, right, getting everybody on their backs. They are for real. They are number 10 in the nation for a reason. Richard Johnson, Emory Hunt, thanks so much, gentlemen. And make sure to check out the latest edition of College Football Insiders, hosted by a powerhouse team of reporters, including Richard Johnson, and this show delivers the stories behind the headlines. College Football Insiders, download and follow today wherever you get your podcasts.